This is a horror story that happened to a girl named Sugi and her dorm friends. Sugi used to have a happy family. However, her father often beat her mother and her because of drinking and gambling. Since then, Sugi's personality had become quieter. As time passed, Sugi went to a vocational boarding school and stayed there because of the difficult family situation. She was registered here by her mother in order for it to be convenient for both studying and traveling. The documents and procedures were quite simple, so Sugi would move in immediately. Sugi followed the instructions, brought the luggage to the school dormitory to prepare to clean and rest, and the next day she would start the first day of school. The room where Sugi lived included 4 bunk beds for 4 people. Sugi and her roommates quickly got to know each other and befriended each other. That night, as everyone in the room fell asleep, only Sugi could not sleep because of the strange place. In the middle of the night, Sugi was awakened by the aimless singing of a female roommate. The loud singing caused not only Sugi but also the other friends sleeplessness. Yoko was woken up, so she turned on the light in annoyance. It was the singing of Anna, a female friend lying in the corner of the room, opposite Sugi's bed. To avoid being punished by the supervisor, Yoko quickly turned off the lights. Then the whole room approached Anna, asking what was wrong with her. But how to ask? Anna still refused to answer, just singing idly. After a while, Anna burst out laughing like a madman. Anna's hair at the time was messy like a crow's nest. The inherent pink skin also suddenly turned pale. Pale like an anemic person, looking very scary. Then Anna suddenly stood up and went straight to the dressing table. All evening no one spoke to Anna. Whoever talked to her did not respond, just sitting in front of the mirror singing nonsense like a madman. Sugi saw Anna like that. She couldn't hide her bewilderment and approached Anna and advised her to go to sleep. But when she saw Sugi standing near her, Anna's body suddenly trembled, laughing a few times, looking terrible. Her eyes rolled back to the ceiling. At that time, people in the room saw Anna like that. Everyone panicked, thinking that Anna was sleepwalking. Sugi immediately grabbed Anna's shoulder to try to wake her up. Anna suddenly fell down on the bed in front of her friend in the room. A few seconds later, Anna's eyes widened, foaming at the mouth, and her whole body twisted and looked very scary. Sugi was looking at Anna at that time, and also showed panic. She thought it was because of herself that Anna was like this, so she frantically called the others to take Anna to the school's medical room. Sugi and her friends in the dormitory hurriedly carried Anna on their backs and ran straight to the school's medical room. On the way, suddenly Anna woke up. She blankly looked at Sugi and her surroundings, not understanding what was going on and why she was brought here. Sugi also quickly dropped her friend to the ground. After that, Anna and the others also returned to the room. Anna sat among all the friends in the dorm, telling all the strange things she had encountered before showing strange expressions like earlier. Before going to bed, Anna sat at the table and brushed her hair, but for some reason after that, she fell asleep and she was no longer conscious of anything. But this happened over and over again with Anna. Not only her, but everyone in the room felt fear for that. Anna couldn't take it anymore, so she applied for a leave of absence from school and moved to another place. A long time later, Sugi's dorm room also had a new friend moving in. She thought everything was over, but unexpectedly something strange happened. In the middle of the night, this girl also went to the mirror, acting exactly like Anna before, looking very strange. At this time, Sugi's new friend was sitting in front of the mirror, eyes wide with ghostly appearances and black lips that looked like a corpse. Sugi and the friends in the room who witnessed the scene could only fear but did not dare to wake her again, for fear of the same situation as Anna. After a while, this girl kept rolling on the bed, sleeping soundly as nothing happened. Everyone in the room then turned on the lights. Sugi went to her friend's bed and woke the girl up. The girl didn't understand what was going on, bewilderedly looking at everyone standing around the bed looking at her, then asked Sugi why she woke her up at this hour. Sugi then told her friend about the strange incident she had met, but the girl still insisted that she had never sleepwalked. Because Sugi felt worried and suspected that the room she was in was something scary, Sugi went to ask people around if there had been many people who had a similar situation before. But the people in the area were not as friendly as she thought, especially when they heard about her dorm. Everyone started shouting loudly, sending her group away, refusing to talk. Things could not find a solution, so the members in the room became even more tired. After everyone in the room experienced this feeling once, Sugi was the next victim. That night while she was sleeping, she was suddenly woken up by a voice. Sugi clearly sensed that someone was looking at her, so she ventured to glance to the side and see a big black shadow. She jumped all over herself, rolled her eyes at the black shadow in front of her. Her mouth opened as if she wanted to call her friend, but then she couldn't do anything. After a while, Sugi felt sleeplessness creeping in on her. She couldn't feel or control anything anymore. The black shadow immediately moved to the side of Sugi's bed. The cold air and the stench of the corpses rose strongly. Then, this ghost immediately stretched out its thin, bony hand, step by step touching Sugi's body. Sugi opened her eyes and the face of this ghost appeared clearly for her to see with bright and white eyes. Moments later, Sugi began to sleepwalk. She started to sit up and get out of the bed. Then Sugi went straight to the dressing table, picked up the comb in front of the mirror. The image in the mirror reflected the hand of someone other than her. Luckily, Sugi woke up, looked back at herself, feeling a little tired. She glanced in the mirror to see what was wrong. Suddenly, Sugi saw that the person in the mirror was not herself at all, but a certain woman who looked very scary. Sugi turned around in a panic to take a look and saw the woman in the mirror brushing her hair. She immediately ran to the bed, her whole body shaking with fear. The friends in her room were awakened. They also approached Sugi and wondered how Sugi was able to get out of a sleepwalking situation. It was only then that Sugi realized that the other people in the room looked at her. They knew what was wrong with her and then woke up from her sleepwalking quickly. That night, Sugi's whole room stayed up all night. Everyone in the room sat together by the window. They told everything they had seen and everything was exactly as Sugi saw it. There was a friend in the room who couldn't hide her curiosity, so she discussed how to fight that female ghost. Sugi realized that the thing that helped her wake up was the treasure that her grandmother left behind. It was a pendant made of marble with a very large Buddha image engraved on it. She looked at the pendant. Childhood memories returned to her once more. When she was young, her grandmother gave her this pendant, telling her to always carry it with her as her amulet. After that incident, Sugi was so obsessed that she couldn't sleep, and the other friends in her room also moved out. Sugi had to leave too. Staying in this room was too dangerous. After applying for leave, Sugi stood at the beginning of the street, waiting to catch the bus to go home. At that time, she inadvertently attracted the attention of the neighbors. A man who had been in the area for a long time next to her dorm approached. He told her about what happened in the dormitory she was staying in. In the past, her dorm room was the room of a female warden. Because she was upset about being raped by the superintendent, she committed suicide in that room. Since then, anyone who had stayed in that room had experienced sleepwalking in the middle of the night. No one dared to say that they had met a ghost. Then they moved away because they couldn't stay there anymore.